Nick Koch here with Digest Publishing, and what you're going to see today is perhaps the most exciting discovery of my career. I'm on my way to see what could become America's #1 biggest gold mine, and almost nobody knows about it. Not the financial media, not analysts or gurus, not even experts in the mining space. And it could hand investors the biggest and fastest gains of 2022 or the entire decade. I've spent the last 5 years studying this deposit and the tiny company that owns it. I financed it early with a tight-knit group of investors. I've read the geologist reports, the independent surveys, and studied the 150-year history of the mining district it's in, which is one of the most well-endowed gold areas in the world. I've even made 2 fact-finding site visits, including the one you're going to see today. Everything I've found is remarkable. The project is huge. Officially, there are 4 million ounces of gold there now, which alone makes it one of the biggest gold deposits in America. But that's just one part of the equation. This project has already produced gold. It was once the largest gold mine in Idaho. It has much of the mining equipment and infrastructure already in place. And it has the locals' approval, which is incredibly important in this day and age. Plus, as you'll see in a moment, this gold mine has a secret. So let's go check it out. Come on. I set out on the 6-hour drive through the wild Northwest landscape and equally wild weather to investigate what could be America's next biggest gold mine. We just left Spokane, Washington, where I live, and we got into the northern panhandle of Idaho, which is a famed silver district. We're on our way to a gold district in the southern portion of the state. So we got a bit of a ride ahead of us. You can see in the background, hopefully, how mountainous it is and how rugged the terrain is, which, of course, is the conditions that create mountains and the shifting of rocks that allow the precious metal fluids to come up into them. Here, as I said, is primarily silver. It's been mined for hundreds of years, some of the largest, deepest silver mines in the world. And what we're starting to learn is that the southern part of the state is capable of hosting some of the largest gold mines in the country, and that's what we're going to investigate today. So we're going to go see, first of all, how big it is. I mean, outside of the people and where it is, you need to know that it's something that can be developed and something that has size potential to grow, and that's exactly what's going on here. You also want to know that it has infrastructure, and again, this mine has that. In fact, it's already been a mine before. It was one of the largest producing mines, in fact, the largest producing mine in Idaho in past history. And it's slating to be that again. It has existing infrastructure there. It has a leaching pond and ADR plant, and it has a power line running right through it, which is also important. And that power comes from hydroelectricity, which is clean, and that's critical in this day and age, right? Because people are looking for the greenest mines possible, and if you can power it with hydroelectricity, which doesn't emit any carbon, versus diesel generators or other forms of power, which many other mines have to run on, then you have yet another advantage. So I guess you also look for local approval, and this mine has that because of the jobs that it creates and because of the fact that it was a mine before, and so it's already been permitted once. And so the people are very receptive. You know, we'll be going there and getting hotel rooms and eating dinner at the local steakhouse, and that, of course, stimulates the economy, which is very important in this day and age. After driving about 2 hours, I came to the Continental Divide, a jarring and jagged landscape where long ago the ideal conditions created silver, gold, and other precious metals and minerals. Oh, we stopped here at the Continental Divide. It's Montana, just a couple hundred yards down the highway that way, and Idaho right over my shoulder here. It's where the plates met to jump and create the mountains, and that's the perfect scenario to create mines, which is why there's so many mines around here. We just and head down into southern Idaho, where we'll be trying to find a larger gold mine. In fact, there was already a gold mine there, so we got about 4 more hours left in the car, had a break in the weather, and thought we would stop and get a shot of the Continental Divide here. As I continued onward, I thought about the things I look for in a mining project, and all the boxes this mine I was about to visit would check off. So I said one of the things I look for in a new mining project is size potential. It's potential to get much bigger and extend the mine life to generate even more cash flow and therefore returns for shareholders. And this mine has a secret that we alluded to, and the secret is not that it was just a past producer, but that when it was a past producer, it did so from an open pit in a heap leach process. And they're still going to restart that process at this mine. But what they're starting to discover is that there's much higher grade mineralization beneath the old pit. And so they released some drill results late last year that were much higher grade than what was mined before, and much higher grade than their existing resource. And they're drilling now to extend that even deeper. And so it's called an orogenic gold deposit. And that's when the fluids that created the precious metals extend down for potentially thousands of meters. And to get a sense of that, you just have to look at a mountain, right? A heap leach would cut out a portion of that in a pit, but then beneath that, the mineralization can continue down much further, right? If it goes down 1,000 feet and the mountain is several thousand feet high, that's where the fluids came up in the original formation process that formed those mountains millions of years ago. And so they're drilling now even deeper and hope to find those higher grades, which they found before. And that's what can let this become much bigger, much faster, and potentially add ounces in the ground that would make it one of the biggest gold discoveries in America.
After several more hours of driving, I was approaching my destination, and the weather finally cleared to reveal the landscape that could hold a very valuable secret within it.
We are here in rugged and rural southern Idaho, Lemhi County, which has a 150-year history of mining gold. There used to be caravans of people that went up in the mountains to mine, hundreds of them. They would stay all winter, bring in all the supplies they needed, stay there and mine gold all winter long. We're going to journey up into those hills here over the next couple of days to check out what could be America's next biggest gold mine. As I told you, or as you might know, there's over 4 million ounces here already, and they're looking for up to 10 million ounces of gold because of how well endowed the region is and the modern exploration techniques that allow them to see below the Earth's surface and to drill down deeper than, of course, those miners could 150 years ago. So I'm anxious to get up there. I'm anxious to put my boots on the ground and get off the road and up into the mountains here in southern Idaho.
After a good meal with the company's executives and a good night's rest, it was time to put my boots on the ground at the mine site and investigate what could become America's next biggest gold mine.
New technology has unlocked an entirely separate, high-grade gold deposit near the old mine, and the market has absolutely no clue. The company is drilling now, which means the full picture will soon be revealed. It ticks off all the boxes for gold mines that make investors rich, which is why I'm so excited about it and have been buying shares along with a small group of in-the-know investors. And it's why I'm putting my boots on the ground to bring the full scoop on this mine to the investing public. And given current market conditions, it couldn't come at a better time. To get here, I drove hours through the Idaho wilderness along the Salmon River to a remote town. Then I proceeded to explore the 16,000 acres of the property, and incredibly enough, gold was everywhere. Let me rephrase. In the span of nearly 3.5 miles, it was hard to find anywhere gold was not. And here's my shocking conclusion. I believe there's at least 2 times more gold here than the official reports say. It could carry 10 million ounces of gold or more. That's simply unreal. That would make it one of the largest gold deposits in America, bigger than the resources at Newmont's Cripple Creek and Victor mines, bigger than the resources at SSR Mining's Marigold mine, and bigger than the reserves at Kinross's Round Mountain and Fort Knox. Even based on a conservative gold price of $1,500, hundreds of dollars below where gold is trading now, that would be a $15 billion gold jackpot. That's hundreds of times more than this company is currently being valued in the market. And the incredible part is, most every other big gold mine in America is owned by giants like Barrick and Newmont, but not this one. Instead, one tiny, virtually unknown miner has complete ownership of this gold windfall, and it trades for under $1. But I don't think that will last for long. Like I said, I'm here to check out drilling that will soon start to reveal this mine's secret, that there is much more gold here than anyone currently realizes. In the coming months, this mine's real value will become public knowledge, And thanks to my deep research and connections, I believe I know exactly when this will happen, how much gold will be revealed, and how high its shares will soar. Again, you will not find this anywhere else, not in the financial media, not from newsletter gurus. You're only hearing it from me because I help finance and vet many gold deals, including this one, from a very early stage. They don't all make it. In fact, if you're familiar with the mining business at all, you'll know that most projects don't work out, but the ones that do pay off in spectacular fashion. And this is shaping up to be one of them. That's why I leveraged my connections to get you access to this story now, before the rest of the market realizes what's going on. And because of my decade of experience in the mining sector, I know what I'm looking for and where to look. I say none of this to brag, but to make you understand one thing. Once you see everything I'm about to share with you today, you'll be among the few who know about America's #1 developing gold mine. And since you'll know before everyone else does, you could take home enormous gains like you've never seen before. Because once this mine becomes publicly known as America's next biggest, investors and mining giants will jump over one another to buy it hand over fist, igniting a bidding war that could send shares surging from under $1 to $5 and beyond, using less than $8 per share. Now, most gurus you see out there would just pull that number out of thin air without anything to back it up. But I'm not a guru. I'm an investor looking for serious returns on my money. So I make sure to back everything up with real world data, not pie in the sky projections. Earlier this year, large gold miner B2 Gold took out Oklo Resources for $62 million. Oklo had gold resources of just 669,000 ounces. So B2 Gold paid over $92 per ounce. At that rate, the 10 million ounces I think are at this project would be worth $926 million, making every share worth $10.65. That would make this a 2,030% winner. Other takeouts have come at even higher premiums. When Barrick bought out Randgold a few years ago, it paid $240 per ounce. That would make this ground worth $2.4 billion, and the shares of the company that owns it worth $27.50, some 5,423% higher than they currently trade. And it could all happen very quickly. In just a moment, you'll see why these gains may actually be a conservative estimate of what's coming. In fact, nothing returns bigger and faster gains like a major gold mine discovery, especially when the price of gold is moving higher like it is now. You'll see how past discoveries are responsible for some of the biggest riches in market history, and why multi-billion-dollar hedge funds are taking huge stakes in this tiny mine, especially now that the stock market is in bear market territory, with gold one of the few things still performing well. You'll also see why this mine will be easier to permit than most others, why it can operate with a green footprint, which is essential in today's world, and why nobody knows about its real potential. In fact, while many mines exaggerate their reserves, I found why this company may actually be doing the exact opposite. I think it's a major green light to early investors who are still able to get in early. But before we drill into all the details, allow me to explain why I'm qualified to speak on the matter. I've spent the last 15 years finding unusual, little-known opportunities in the metals and energy space, the kind that could soar for astronomical gains overnight, minting all new millionaires. I do this with one simple method: building a massive list of political, corporate, and mining insiders from all around the world, and then investing in the early stage companies they turn up, along with a small group of tight-knit investors. Like I said, they don't all work out like I think this one will, but when they do, the payoffs are huge. This is how I uncovered a tiny miner in Papua New Guinea called K92 Mining. This company was staffed by some of the world's top geologists and mining legends. During the gold bear market, they bought a massive mine from production, so it cost almost nothing to get the mine operational, and the production date was set in a matter of months. I recommended this to my readers at just 35 cents per share, and in just 3 months, it surged to $2.21. My readers were able to take home a profit of 531%. That's good enough to turn $10,000 into over $63,000 in just 90 days' time. But it didn't stop there. Over the next few years, shares of K92 surged to over $10.50. So anyone who followed me in at the 35-cent level had the chance to make as much as 30 times their money. That's a 2,905% gain that turns every $10,000 invested into $300,000. And I've been involved with several such opportunities, which is why I'm so confident about what I'm telling you today. It's also how I uncovered a global gold miner that also owns a uranium package in Canada. Its founders and major backers include legends who have made fortunes in gold mines before, including colleagues of mine like renowned resource investor Rick Rule. In 8 months, it surged from 41 cents to $3.14. That's a 641%. And it's how I uncovered a lithium opportunity in the heart of Nevada's salt brine land. You probably know lithium as the new gasoline. It's the vital fuel for the world's transition to electric vehicles, and Elon Musk and others can't get enough of it. Lithium prices have gone through the roof lately, and dozens of companies have emerged that claim lithium in their name. But long before investing in lithium was a common theme, I identified a very close ties to the Clintons, and its director had a record of starting small lithium and gold miners and then flipping them for billion-dollar buyouts. It had a land package bordering the only known lithium mine in North America, plus a prime piece of real estate in the famed Lithium Triangle of Argentina. I got my readers in at 15 cents, and in just 4 months, it surged past $2.53. That's a whopping gain of 1,667%. That's good enough to turn $10,000 into $176,700 in just 16 weeks. My readers had the opportunity to see these life-changing returns just by following my recommendations. I've shown a small group of investors gains like these over and over. And I say none of this to brag, but to make clear the enormity of the claim I'm making today. I think this gold mine is poised to eclipse every single one of these big home runs by a landslide. It's not even close. Look, we're on the cusp of one of America's historic gold mines being unveiled, a mine that I suspect will be bigger than those owned by some of the world's biggest gold giants. And it's coming right smack dab in the middle of a historic gold bull market. Today, you can buy into the tiny miner behind it for under $1. Hardly ever have I seen a ground floor opportunity with so much wealth. This is why billion-dollar hedge funds are betting big on this play. One made a $10 million bet in early 2022, enough to own over 8% of the company. With this kind of wealth potential developing so quickly, I knew I had to come here myself and bring it to you firsthand. Again, this project is great on paper, including 4 million ounces of gold, that is, in the second largest gold producing region in the world, a past producer with low technical and permitting risk, and it's on track to become much larger than anyone realizes. That alone makes it one of the top gold plays in America, one of the few not already owned by a major gold giant, but better in real life. This state is the most favorable to mining companies from a policy perspective. It ranked number 1 in the Fraser Institute's 2020 survey, ahead of Nevada, Newfoundland, Finland, and Saskatchewan, second to no one. In addition, the project is the largest past-producing gold mine in Idaho. That means it's already been approved and built once, so there will be less disturbance this time around. It's also powered by clean, green, and cheap hydropower, with a line already running through the site. This means lower costs and lower emissions than typical mines. Idaho is home to many conservationists, ranchers, and hunters. These guys live here for one reason: the pristine wilderness, and they want to keep it that way. The bottom line is this mine's environmental friendliness pleases everyone and gives nothing but upside for the economy and environment. And like I said, this mine has a secret. It's keeping its true wealth potential under the radar. Why would it do such a thing? It's simple. Mines with 4 million ounces of gold are much easier to get approved. Fewer official reserves means fewer loopholes, less waiting time, less regulatory hassle. It has all the motive to keep the true extent of its reserves quiet for now, at least quiet to the public. So this is a big wink wink to investors. But there's also another reason there is much more gold here than anyone realizes right now. While this was already the largest past producing gold mine in Idaho, this was all done with open pits. But new technology and modern drilling techniques have unlocked significantly more gold below the old pits. In reality, and you could only know this by visiting the site like I am right now, it holds no less than 10 million ounces of gold by my calculations, a fact that I think will dawn on the investment public over the next few months as drilling is completed and results start coming out. Already, 5 deposits have been identified over a span of 3.5 miles to a depth of 2,000 feet, either end of the. To get an idea, consider the biggest gold and metals discoveries in recent years, like the Piarina property in Peru, one of the most important gold discoveries in South America. The company that owned it, Arequipa Resources, traded for mere pennies, but when drilling results turned up nearly 5 million ounces of gold in the ground, the miner was quickly bought out by Barrick Gold for over $30 a share in a stunning acquisition. Barrick paid $800 million, or $160 per gold ounce in the ground. Early investors saw massive 100-bagger gains on the historic buyout, and this was during a long-term gold bear market when the price stayed flat and even declined. That's because major metal discoveries always mint millionaires, no matter what the underlying price of gold is doing. Consider the Timok copper gold deposit of 2012. It was the discovery of the decade and the biggest in European history. The miner that owned it, Reservoir Minerals, quickly surged for unbelievable returns. In just 4 years, it skyrocketed for 12,000% gains, and that was just for starters. Even during the gold bear market of the 2010s, its shares continued soaring over and over. Finally, it was bought out for a handsome premium. Told, you could have seen 32,000% gains had you seen this coming and bought it early. That's good enough to turn every $1,000 invested into $320,000 and every $5,000 invested into $1.6 million. Then there's the historic Voisey's Bay discovery in Labrador, Canada. In 1995, exploration turned up the largest and lowest cost nickel deposit in the world. The company that owned it, Diamond Fields, soared for some of the biggest and fastest gains on record. First financed at just 10 cents a share, the stock surged to $196 within 2 years before being bought out in a bidding war. That's 195,900% gain. That turned every $1,000 invested into nearly $2 million. All of Diamond Fields' early investors became fantastically rich, no matter how much they invested. And now, I think history is about to repeat itself. This time, with one of America's biggest gold discoveries. Remember, I've been able to figure out this company's true wealth potential because of my position as an early startup investor, and because of what I learned on this boots-on-the-ground visit to the mining site in Idaho. Few outside of a very well-connected group of mining insiders have ever even heard of this company. Almost nobody knows the secret it holds, but that won't last much longer. Once details of this miner's true potential go public, and they have to, I think this miner will begin a breathtaking big discovery. Overnight, the major gold mining giants could begin the bidding war of a lifetime, driving shares from under $1 to $2, $5, even to over $10 per share like I already showed you is possible, based on recent buyout examples. Why wait to buy it later when shares are above $5 when you can buy right now for below $1? I know I'm not waiting. I've been accumulating shares and have continued to buy them this year. It's currently the top gold recommendation I'm making to my small group of followers. And I'd like to show you why this company, as well as my unique style of investing, could be worth so much to you, like it has been to so many others. To get you started immediately, I've compiled a full dossier on this ground floor gold opportunity called Drilling into a 20 Bagger, exposing the potential of America's next biggest gold discovery. Here's a quick preview of what it includes: the name and ticker symbol of the sub $1 company with complete ownership of the mine, thorough company profile based on my boots on the ground investigation, including intel you won't find on CNBC or even in industry journals, exclusive off-the-cuff footage of this visit to the mining site, including interviews with the executives and geologists, the 10 million ounce gold potential and why nobody else sees it coming, plus upcoming catalysts, including the release of this mine's real wealth potential, which I think will begin later this year. Best of all, I've decided to give this report to anyone who's interested totally free of charge. Why would I do that? Well, let's head back to my office and I'll show you. Again, my name is Nick Hodge. I'm the multimillionaire founder and president of an investment research firm named Digest Publishing. I publish my findings and what I'm personally investing in a weekly newsletter called Hodge Family Office. The goal of this research service is simple: help ordinary investors make fast profits on the most explosive early stage companies that you'll never read about through the mainstream press. This is not a $99 newsletter run by some schlep with no investing experience who will market anything his boss tells him to. This is my company, and I write about the high risk, high reward investments I'm making with my own capital. And the results speak for themselves. Over the past few years alone, readers and I have seen stock runs like 1,035% on Encore Energy as it went from 20 cents to a high of $2.27 in 55 months. 1,665% with Immunoprecise, which went from $1.50 to a high of $26.48 in 48 months. 1,667% on Lithium X as it surged from 15 cents to over $2.50 in 4 months. And 2,905% with K92 Mining, which went from 35 cents to a high of 10.52 in 62 months. I've helped investors from all walks of life bank dozens of multi-baggers and hundreds of double-digit wins over the course of my career. And it's helped make many of my readers life-changing money. One guy, by the name of Adrian B., wrote to me about one of my recommendations, saying it was the greatest investment he ever made.
Hello, Nick. I hope this email finds its way to you, as I would personally like to thank you for putting me onto the greatest junior gold mining investment I have ever made. I now have a substantial shareholding with warrants in a publicly listed junior who's still under the radar. Thanks, Nick.
Brent L. told me multiple recommendations were big winners for him.
Nick, I subscribed to your letter and have since enjoyed some remarkable gains in several of your discoveries. As a matter of fact, I couldn't wait to renew. Only a damn fool would have done otherwise. Please keep up this good work.
And Garth G. made 9 times his money on a single play.
As a loyal member, I want to thank you for your tremendous research and recommendations. I've much more than paid for my subscriptions. Per your recommendation, I had invested in Ely Gold royalties, and I'm currently sitting on a 900% gain in less than 2 years. Thank you.
I have dozens of stories like these. They are why I do what I do. But that doesn't mean my job is easy. It takes a lot of hard work and boots on the ground research to maintain the success I've experienced, whether it's flying out to the Nevada desert to get a firsthand look at the lithium that will supply our electric future while enriching shareholders, or walking the conference floor with company executives at the most prestigious investment shows in the country, or, as I did in this case, trekking through Idaho to what could become one of the largest gold mines in the country. There's not a stone I won't turn over if I think there's money to be made on the other side. As a result, I spend millions of dollars each year on research and growing my business. I've taken private jets to Nevada gold mines, chartered helicopters over Canadian oil plays, rubbed elbows with prime ministers and cabinet members, all in the name of securing the full stories behind the big creating opportunities in the world. But of all the stories I've broken in my career, of all the gains I've helped my readers make, I don't think anything compares to the opportunity that's unfolding in the gold market right now. Flat out, it's the best opportunity you could ever have to make life-changing gains in the next few years. The kind that could allow you to retire early with more money than you know what to do with. But it's crucial that you position yourself right now, before this mine's real wealth becomes public knowledge. Because if there's one thing I've learned in my investing career, make a real difference to your way of life. That's why I created Hodge Family Office, so investors could follow exactly what I was doing with my speculative capital. Sure, I buy blue chip stocks and sector ETFs for my retirement account, and I've had great success there too, chronicling my moves in a letter called Nick Hodge's Foundational Profits. But for the really big wins in shorter time frames, there's nothing like the high risk, high reward plays like the gold company I outlined for you today. I've literally made millions for myself and my readers with these types of plays, and they truly do have to be seen to be believed, which is why I want to get this latest opportunity in your hands today. Hodge Family Office is your window to how high net worth individuals grow their wealth with early stage opportunities. Here's how it works. Every Thursday for the past 14 years, I've sent out a letter to a small group of investors. Each issue covers speculations I'm currently making with my own money. When I'm going to make a new purchase, I tell you first. When I'm going to make a sale, I also tell you first. Sometimes I even fund these companies privately, and you'll have the opportunity to do that alongside me as well. All of the legwork is done for you. Your only job is to decide which investments are right for you and then execute the purchases and sales that I outline. Even if you have little to no experience investing in all companies, you can become a highly successful speculator in a very short period of time by following my simple, straightforward advice. I just showed you several examples of people who've already done it. As a member of the Hodge Family Office community, you'll get 52 weekly issues. Every week I chronicle the markets from my unique contrarian perspective before diving into relevant sector news, company updates, and current buy and sell recommendations. You get a model portfolio that always consists of 20 speculative positions selected to deliver 200 to 500% returns in 2 to 5 years. Some don't work out that way, and some work out significantly better. You'll get recommendation reports. Every stock that goes in the model portfolio gets a full recommendation report with rationale and upcoming catalysts, plus a free subscription to my daily profit cycle newsletter, which focuses on how to profit from the market cycles and the profitable trends within them. This weekly service has been around for well over a decade and is responsible for dozens and dozens of triple-digit wins in early-stage speculations across many sectors of the market. The next one can be yours. To that end, I completely guarantee your satisfaction. Every new member has 60 days to try the service out. During that time, I offer a 100% refund, no questions asked. And while I don't get many refund requests, if you do decide it's not for you, you can keep everything you received during your trial for free, including the report on the tiny gold company that I'm going to send you today. So how can you get your free copy of my brand new research report, Drilling into a 20 Bagger, Exposing the Potential of America's Next Biggest Gold Discovery Today? It couldn't be easier. All I ask is that you take a 100% risk-free trial subscription to my speculative newsletter, Hodge Family Office. How much does all of this cost? Well, the answer might shock you. Normally, a 1-year subscription to my Hodge Family Office newsletter costs $1,999 a year. But if you sign up right now, as part of this special offer, I'm taking 50% off the price. By joining Hodge Family Office today, you'll save $1,000 instantly and pay just $9.99 for an entire year's subscription. That's less than a daily cup of coffee for access to the type of investments that have changed many lives. But I'm not going to stop there. When you become a member today, you'll also get access to 2 other speculations I'm making right now. Bonus speculation number 1, lithium's little giant. I'll show you a tiny company that owns what I think will be the next major North American lithium mine. I expect it to be fully permitted soon, ahead of being taken out for a substantial premium. An independent study has shown the project is worth $1.9 billion right now. That's 7 times higher than the company is currently trading in the market. I expect shares will be re-rated to the upside when the permit comes. It already has federal approval and is just waiting for local approval, which is a formality that should happen this year. And timing couldn't be better with lithium prices rapidly advancing as the world races to go electric. Lithium carbonate prices are up some 500% in the past year. You'll have to act fast if you want in on this one. I expect the lowest prices to be had this summer before the mine is approved and built. This is my largest lithium position, and I intend to buy more shares. Bonus speculation number 2, a Tier 1 PGM gold opportunity. Its last round of funding was done at a $30 million valuation, while comparable assets currently command market caps north of $1 billion. The project was previously owned by a multi-billion-dollar international mining company that drilled it out and established a resource that totals 5.7 million ounces of palladium, platinum, gold, and 344 million pounds of nickel. Serious speculators will know that a Tier 1 project is a company-making mine. They are very large, low-cost, and long-lived projects that produce hundreds of thousands of ounces of precious metals per year. They're extremely rare to come across, and you'll have all the info you need on this one ahead of its public listing. Its management has serious pedigree. In its chairman's last deal, he bought a copper mine for $100,000 and sold it 10 years later for $400 million, with the stock seeing a 100 times increase in market cap after its IPO. I expect similar performance from this new company. And both of these opportunities are in addition to the thousands of percent I expect to make with the gold mine opportunity I showed you today. I hope you'll join me and the others who call Hodge Family Office the highest quality single stock research they've ever seen, especially because you can do so with a 100% money back guarantee for 2 months. Remember, I've done all the legwork for you. I've traveled the globe, built an immense contact list of industry insiders, and gold and metals discoveries have returned as much as 200,000% gains for early investors. That's good enough to turn $1,000 into $2 million. Could history repeat itself? And for you? Yes, but only if you act immediately. You've seen the project and the drills turning for yourself. And once the results start coming out, this mine's secret will be unearthed and everyone will know about it. I can't say how long this opportunity will last. That could be in a matter of weeks. So I urge you not to miss your opportunity to take part in this historic gold discovery. Click on the button below to get started with Hodge Family Office today, or call our friendly customer support staff toll free at 844-334-4700, Monday to Friday, 9:30 to 4:30 Pacific time. Remember, you have everything to gain and